Hello everybody, happy Saturday to you. Hopefully your weekend is going good, and it's Valentine's Day, so I'm sure that many of you are going to have plans with your wife or girlfriend, and those of you who don't have plans with your wife and girlfriend, feel free to email me the address of the hospital you'll be recovering in, and I'll try to send you a get well email. So today I've decided that we're going to talk about someone that most of you who've purchased my products or watched my clips know of, and that's the one, the only, the living legend, Bruce H. Lee. Wow, what a guy. I've known Bruce now for probably 20 years. I think I met him, it was 95 or 96, something like that. I think it was 95, yeah, because I'm on the internet and I'm just looking around, and there was some internet forum, and he would always post these really articulate, like, wrestling things, and the whole internet at that time was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and these guys were just bashing everybody that wasn't a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. It didn't matter what it was, it didn't matter what your credentials were or whatever. They're just tearing everybody up. And it's not the true students, mind you. This is just like fans, guys who would say crazy stuff. Like one guy said he had been training for like 3 months or so. I'd have no problem beating Tyson in a street fight. I'd just take him down and armbar him, stuff like that. It was a difficult period because a lot of people weren't thinking rationally, and through that sea of irrationality, there was this guy Bruce. Well, I didn't even know what his name was. He had some screen name. I think it was Duck Under actually or something, and he was posting like really logical stuff. He wasn't getting into arguments and so on, and he was just trying to give people, try to correct their misinterpretations of wrestling and give them some tips. And I think he had said he had to go back home for a family event. I don't know if it was an illness or a death or something, and he was flying back, but he said he's somehow or another, he mentioned something about he's coming back to Chicago or whatever it was that he mentioned that he was in Chicago. I'm like, oh wow, man, I'd love to meet this guy. So I didn't know much about how to go about this, so I knew somebody who was on that forum all the time. I said, hey, can you send him a note, give him like my phone number or something, or email address or whatever. So through it all, I got in touch with him, right? So I ended up talking to him on the phone, and he was like really awesome, and just a friendly guy. And I had no idea all I knew his name was Bruce. All I knew was my name was Tony. We didn't talk about anything particular in the phone thing. I mean, I knew he wrestled in college. I didn't ask him anything about it. We just talked. So I was in the process of teaching some guys who wanted to open up a martial arts school. The school wasn't open up yet, and I was trying to teach them, striking and wrestling and submissions and all of that, and trying to get them up to snuff in time for them to open up this school. And I was going to be an instructor there and whatever. So I didn't actually. The school wasn't even in existence. So anyhow, they were just building it. New construction, I guess, in a strip mall. So long story short, Bruce and I, we kind of try to find a meeting place halfway. So we meet in this parking lot of a restaurant. Now I get there earlier than him. I don't remember how long, it's irrelevant. And I'm waiting, and he pulls up, and we talked about this afterwards. Well, he gets out of his Jeep, and here he comes. Boom, boom. It's summertime. He's got these big glasses on. He doesn't have a neck. And he's Now I'm thinking I'm in a James Bond movie, and here comes Oddball, and I'm looking for a derby hat so he doesn't throw it at me and cut my neck off, okay? I'm like, this guy's man, look at the size of this guy. So I get out of the car, and I'm walking over there, and I'm in top shape, and I find out that Bruce is the same thing. Jesus Christ, look at the size of this guy. So anyhow, we met, we worked out, we wrestled that day, and we've been buds ever since. And I'm here to tell you that Bruce Lee, without question, I've said this before and I'll say it again, is the best coach of any person I've ever met in my life, regardless of the field, be it martial arts or music or anything else that I've studied. This man has a way with people. At the time, he was working as a social worker, so he has, he's into all of that stuff, and he really has patience with people, and he's kind and all of that. There's another side to Bruce, as we found out in the coming years, evil Bruce. And Bruce has no problem telling somebody to go stick it up their ass when they deserve it, and he's said that to these internet morons that have started trash talking and shit. But generally speaking, Bruce is one of the most psychologically balanced, great guy. He's a wild man. He's got a great personality, fun, and tough as nails. Bruce has been wrestling for so many years. Like a lot of us who've started athletics at a young age, which is good. The negative is you flame out, you get injuries, okay? And Bruce has had his share of injuries, just as I have. But Bruce and the crew were all there for me when I was in a hospital for that whole year, in and out. They were always there. They were updating people on the internet. The man's, to me, a legend. And not just for his wrestling abilities, but just because he's one of the finest people that I've ever met in my life. I can't begin to tell you how articulate he is when it comes to his wrestling knowledge and being able to impart that on other people. He's second to none. He just whatever it is he knows, he's able to get that point across. Okay, whereas many of us tend to struggle. Bruce doesn't. If he does, he's sure covering it up really well. But I'm going to tell you this, people. We discussed when we were offered the option or the opportunity to do the Lost Art of Hooking, and we were sent some videos to kind of, from the producer to kind of watch how other people do it. And the one thing we saw is, man, this is fake. These holds aren't on right. They're. Bruce and I talked about it. I said, man, I can't do a video like this. This is like, not cool. Bruce was like, you go for it. Let's do it the right way. And every ooh and ah and all these moans you hear are all legitimate. Bruce was doing it. And the problem that I was having, because, I got the hold on, let's say, excuse me, and now I'm still talking to the camera, and I'm not letting go of the hold. And poor Bruce, we had 3 days of misery, man. He had to miss work afterwards. After those 3 days to recover from this, because it was brutal. And we did the whole Lost Art of Hooking, and there is footage that has never been released too, but there was only 2 outtakes. One was that the producer's cell phone went off, so we had to cut, and the other one was Bruce had just gotten brutalized, and we're going to the next scene, and I'm saddled up or something, and Bruce is flat on his back, and he looks at me and he goes, Tony, and I'm like, yeah, and he goes, fuck you, and I lost it, and I still think it's funny. And they had to cut the scene. So out of that, thankfully for Bruce, we had no outtakes, and because of that and a couple other series that I filmed without any outtakes, he labeled me One Take Tony, because I get it done in one take. And thankfully for Bruce, I did. But he's just a fantastic guy. And, you cannot help but not learn something from him. Okay? He's just brilliant. And, like everything else, life comes and goes and ups and downs for all of us. And he's experienced it too. Love life changes for him, moving, job changes, career changes, whatever. And but through it all, man, Bruce is still Bruce. And every time I hear Tony, it brings a smile to my face. And I am not a sadist, But anyway, people, I just want to say that no one's better than Bruce Lee, as far as I'm concerned, in my mind, as far as relaying, and it's anything. We used to go to the Chinatown here, right? Real Chinese food. No fried rice and egg rolls here, but stuff that I don't even know what it is, right? The menus are on in Chinese and everything. Bruce can sit there and just explain everything to us. Like, it's not like saying, okay, you're eating a hamburger. He'd go into it in depth and stuff. He just knows. He's just very good at all of that stuff. He's really, really smart. And I'm smart. I'm smart, Michael. I'm not dumb like they say. That's a Godfather thing, but some of the Italians will get that. But, I want to thank you for being in my life, Bruce, and I want to thank you for all the times you helped me when I was sick or just helped me. You helped me film, or, you took the right course up there on the internet and try to stick up and all this and tell the truth. And you know what, buddy? You got a friend for life. And anyone out there, whoever comes to Chicago, if I can't hook up with you or something, try to hook up with Bruce, man. He's a real deal. So I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.